Yesterday I was flying back from a preaching engagement in South America, and I was reading something amazing, and I was actually talking about this when I was in Chile about Prabhupada's power. You may have seen this movie of 26 Second Avenue. It's the very beginning. There's a few men there, and they're taking prasadam, and they're being interviewed and asked what they think of Krishna consciousness. And they're brand new devotees, or mostly very new devotees. I think it was called Happiness on 26 Second Avenue. And so I was reading an interview with one of the filmmakers. It was a husband and wife team. And I want to read you something that he said, which is, it's so funny, but it's so amazing, and it's so typical of how Prabhupada affected people. So this is what he said. I remember asking him, a new devotee, how he felt. He said, "Oh, this is the most wonderful thing. I'm so moved. I want to dedicate my entire life to this." I said, "How long have you been involved?" He said, "Since yesterday." Since yesterday. Okay, that's interesting that someone would feel this way who'd only been involved, who knows, 12 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours max. What does this mean? This should help us appreciate that Krishna has sent us a very, very special devotee, a very pure devotee, who has this kind of effect on people's hearts. Of course, we understand Prabhupada is powerful. How powerful? That a person would feel this way within one day and feel like, I just want to give my life to Krishna and Prabhupada in one day, a transformation like that, from a hippie, taking drugs, having girlfriends, boyfriends, wasting time, reading so-called spiritual books, philosophizing, highly influenced by the mode of ignorance in one day, to feel like this. That's something that just glorifies Prabhupada in a very special way. That's only part of what I want to say. The other part of what I want to say is that when you came to a temple in those days, the devotees were so inspired by Prabhupada that being with the devotees was very much like being with Prabhupada. And of course, many people came to ISKCON and that Prabhupada wasn't in the temple they came to. But being in that temple was just like being with Prabhupada, because Prabhupada was so much in the heart and soul and bloodstream of the devotees. Because Prabhupada was emanating so much bhakti that it was infiltrating everyone's heart, and therefore when you met even a new devotee, you would get infiltrated by it. And I want to tell a story. Giriraj Swami tells he went to see Srila Prabhupada. He drove many, many miles because he was looking for a guru, and he found many gurus that he wasn't satisfied with. And he got late to the program, and the program was over, and he couldn't hear Prabhupada, didn't hear Prabhupada speak, and the devotees needed a ride. This is in Boston. And they made an announcement. Does anyone have a vehicle? We need a ride to such and such a place. And he said, I have a vehicle, I'll take you. So sitting in the front seat with him, among others, was a devotee named Janava. And Giriraj Swami explains that he was searching for a guru. He had heard many gurus and read many books about spiritual philosophy. And he started asking her questions, or they were discussing things, and he was expressing, and she was correcting him when he expressed something that wasn't true, expressed something that he read. And he said, I had never heard anyone express philosophy like that before. And when I was talking to her, I accepted. I knew, this is it. This is true. This is the real thing. He wasn't talking to Prabhupada. He was talking to someone who heard Prabhupada and who was perfectly representing Prabhupada. Not only what Prabhupada said, but representing his mood. And she was so convinced, because Prabhupada was so convinced. So she was channeling Prabhupada's mood of that conviction and articulating exactly what Prabhupada said, clearly and precisely. And Giriraj Swami decided to become a devotee by this 20-year-old girl preaching to him for who knows how long it took for them to drive. It couldn't have been more than a half hour, maybe only 20 minutes. That's the power that Prabhupada put in the heart of his disciples. Now, sometimes people say, well, there's nobody like Prabhupada on the planet, which is true. And they say, therefore, and what they say, therefore, afterwards, is sometimes wrong. There's no one like Prabhupada on the planet, but look how Prabhupada changed people's hearts. And look at the power Prabhupada put in their heart, and look at how they are changing other people. That should be what comes after it. Glorify Prabhupada, don't minimize it. There's no one like Prabhupada on the planet, and therefore you have to find someone else outside of ISKCON, because in ISKCON nobody's like Prabhupada, and no one has the potency, etc., etc. That's not true. People misuse Prabhupada's potency, but it doesn't mean no one has it. If we didn't have the potency, we couldn't make anybody devotees. We couldn't put that seed of bhakti in anyone's heart. But we see so many people are becoming devotees. So many people are advancing because of Prabhupada's power coming down through his disciples to the next generation, to you, and then you giving it to others. That's the power of Krishna consciousness. So we are so fortunate that the original powerhouse is very pure and very strong. And if we touch it, even though we may not be so pure and strong, but we give that same purity to others. That is our job, to give Prabhupada's purity, Prabhupada's Shakti, Prabhupada's faith to other people. And if you follow Prabhupada's instructions and you study his books, you will have that potency. More and more and more, as you grow in Krishna consciousness, you will be more able to channel Prabhupada, more able to represent Prabhupada, to the point that when people are with you, they will feel almost like they're with Prabhupada. They will feel that Shakti. That's the success of our Krishna consciousness movement, that when people are with us, they feel Prabhupada's Shakti, because that Shakti will transform them, just like it transformed this boy and many other people like him. We can still transform people today if we purely deliver, represent Prabhupada's Shakti. And we can do it. You can do it. You don't have to be special. You just have to have faith in Prabhupada's instructions. You have to know his instructions. You have to carefully understand them, carefully apply them, represent his teachings, follow or exhibit the characteristics of a devotee that Prabhupada would want, live a sattvic life, and you will perfectly represent Prabhupada, and so many hearts will change. That's our process. That's how it works.